Hello, lovely to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm so excited for our workout. Today is a beautiful sunny day where I am. It's going to be a great workout. We're not going to use any equipment today, just body weight resistance, and we're going to sculpt our abs, tone and firm our arms, and tone and build muscle in the legs and the glutes. So it's going to be a really nice, well-rounded workout. We're starting off with a warm-up, finishing with a cool down, so you're gonna feel fantastic and ready to go about the rest of your day with energy. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start down on the mat in a kneeling or a cross-leg position. I'm gonna cross my legs and I'm going to sit up really nice and tall, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other. Let's lower those shoulders. Let's lengthen up through the crown of the head, setting up that really good posture. Let's take the arms up and circle them down and back, reaching through those fingers. Inhale up and exhale, circling the hands down and back. So really opening through the chest here, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you circle back, good, mobilizing the shoulders, rolling away any stiffness in the shoulders. I just woke up, so this is a really nice move to energize the body, to wake up the body. Good, let's go 3 and 2 and final 1. Circle arms down and back. Take the hands behind the head. Stack your spine up nice and tall, and then just lean to one side, stretching through the side body and mobilizing the spine. Lean to the opposite side. Good, keeping the chest nice and open and the elbows wide. Repeating opposite side. Stretching and lengthening, warming up the spine. Good, and then let's add a rotation. So let's twist to the right and to center, twist to the left and to center. Try to get as much of a rotation as you can as you twist. Good, last one, twist, back to center, raise the arms up. Keep the right arm raised, lower the left hand, stretching hands in opposite directions, and then switch. Left hand lifts, right hand lowers. Good. Reaching through those fingers in opposite directions while keeping the spine nice and tall. Good. Let's go 5. Reach a bit higher. 4, 3, 2, and final 1. Lower arms. Come to your mat to an all-fours position. We're going to curl the toes and pike up into a downward dog here. Now from here you can keep the knees nice and bent as needed. Just make sure you're flattening out that upper back. Your head is hanging between your shoulders. We're going to lift up on those toes, lifting the heels high, and then lower them down toward the mat. They don't need to touch, but just to the point where you feel that stretch in the backs of the legs. Lift and lower those heels. Lift up and lower. For 2, and final 1. Now let's just pedal out the heels, really bend into those knees. Again, head is hanging heavy between the shoulders, no tension in the neck. Good, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna come forward into a high plank and really power up through the shoulders here. So pushing the mat away, scooping the belly button in toward the spine, creating a nice flat line with the body, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Option, you lower your knees down to the mat and ease down with upper body strength and control, or you lower your whole body down like one plank or one piece of steel and lower down to the floor. Amazing work. From here, we're going to roll over onto the back and start working into those abdominals. So we're going to start with our feet hip distance apart. We're going to interlace the fingers, taking them behind the head, nice wide elbows. We're inhaling here And as we exhale, we're gonna peel head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat into a crunch, flattening belly down toward the spine. Nice work. Lower and lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift, tightening the core as you come up. Looking out between the inner thighs, tucking the chin. Good. Again, keeping those elbows nice and wide, never pulling head, neck, and shoulders up. Letting that head rest heavy like a bowling ball in the hands. Good. We've got 4. Lift up and lower with control. For 3. And final 1. Lift it up and lower it down. Nice work. Now we're going to elevate the legs into a tabletop position, knees over hips or in a little bit closer to flatten your low back to the mat. Continue with those crunches. Good. Lowering and lifting. You should be keeping your lower back connected with the floor here, especially as you curl and crunch up. Again, if that's really challenging for you, you can bring your knees in a little bit closer. Sometimes that helps with the spinal imprint on the mat, or you can lower your feet down to the floor. Let's go 3 and 2. You're doing great. And final 1. Now we're going to add a toe tap. So we're going to tap the right toe down to the mat and lift. And as we lift, we're going to lift head, neck, and shoulders into a crunch. Lower left toes down to the mat and lift into your crunch. Amazing work. Alternating sides. Keeping that knee in a right angle position. As you lower and lift, you're hinging from the hip. So you're not bending your knee to lower your foot to the floor. You're hinging that whole leg down and then lifting up. And as you do so, contracting the belly to the spine. Last 1. Amazing work. If you can, I'd like you to hold up in your crunch position. If that's too much, lower head, neck, and shoulders down to the floor. We're going to alternate right toe and left toes down toward the mat, holding in this crunch, or lowering head, neck, and shoulders down, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you engage that core and lift the legs. Good. Let's go 5, 4, 3. You're doing so well. 2 and 1. Bring the legs back to tabletop and hug the knees in toward the chest for a moment. Stretching out the lower back. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Great work. Now we're going to add on. So hands come back behind the head, legs come back into tabletop. So we're going to flex the feet here, drawing the toes back toward the shins. We're going to extend the right leg, tapping the heel down toward the mat. And as we lift up, we're curling up into our crunch. Tap left heel down onto the mat and lift into your crunch. Alternating sides. Extending through the leg, tapping down, and drawing your navel tightly in towards your spine to lift into that crunch as the legs return to tabletop. Inhaling and exhaling. You're doing so well. Building core strength in this sequence. Working your upper abs as you crunch up. Working your lower abs as you bring that leg in after extending it. You're doing so well. We've got 3 and 2 and final 1. Amazing work. Lower your feet to the floor. Now we're going to switch positions and prepare for our oblique work. So I'm coming down onto my left forearm here, and I'm going to stack my hips and knees. Now from here, we want our chest nice and open. We're going to go into some side crunches. Make sure you have enough room on your mat to stretch out long because we're going to be transitioning between 2 moves here. So I'm going to place my hand behind my head, and I'm going to lift that lower hip up, really cinching in the waistline for 1, 2, belly to spine. 3, 4, and 5 side crunches. Then I'm going to extend that top leg, lift the arm overhead, and crunch it in, keeping that lower hip lifted for 2, nice, 3, 4, elevate that lower hip, and 5, stack your knees, hand comes behind the head, back to those 5 side crunches. 1, keep that chest nice and open, and 5, hold it there, extend and lengthen for 1, 2, abs in, 3, tightening through that waistline, 4, and 5, great work, lowering down, 1, 2, 3, abs in, 4, lift a bit higher, and 5, hold, and then bring it in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold it there and pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, working the core, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Amazing work on that side. I'd like you to come all the way down onto your side body now, and we're going to switch our focus onto our glutes and thighs. So lengthening out through those legs, picking the legs up and coming forward into a pike position, relaxing shoulders down, placing hand on the mat for support. We're going to pick that top leg up, tap the toe down in front of the lower leg, lift it up, and tap it behind the lower leg. So lifting up and over, lifting up and over. Good. Now your aim here is to keep that lower leg really stationary. You don't want to be wobbling around as you do this. So really switch on the muscles in that lower leg too. So you're pointing your toes, flexing your muscles. Good work. Lift it up and over. Lift it up and over. 5 more sets. Good. You're doing so well for 4. 3, engage the core as you move as well. For 2, relax those shoulders. And last 1, and to center, nicely done. Now we're going to lift the top leg, bend at the knee. We're going to tap the knee down to the mat, lift up, drawing an arc in the air with that knee, and then tap the toes down behind you. Good, so tap, knee, tap, toes. Tap, knee, tap, toes. Again, keeping your torso really still and stable by engaging your core. Switch on that lower leg so that you've got a really nice base of support. Good. We're strong, we're controlled here. Shoulders are relaxed. Tap up and tap back. Try not to let that top hip roll back as you tap back. It's a small range of movement. You should feel this work in the glutes, thighs, and hips. Let's do 3 more for 3. Good. And 2. Lengthen through the neck. And last 1. Amazing. Bring the leg to center and extend. Plug the navel in. Press down into the mat for support and circle that leg. Going forwards, making basketball-sized circles in the air. For 6, 5, keep that leg elevated. 4, 3, I know these burns, stick with it. 2, and 1. Lower down for just a moment, and then take a breath, come right back up, and start circling in the opposite direction. Good, 10 more circles. Circling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Wow, those burn. Good work sculpting that side booty, the gluteus medius, as well as those hips and thighs. Calves were working there too. Okay, coming down onto the side body, We're now going to target the obliques through that sequence of side crunches and extended leg crunches. So we've got our hips stacked, the right shoulder below the right, or the right elbow below the right shoulder. We're lifting up through that lower hip, placing the hands behind the head, and we're lifting into that side crunch, making any little adjustments we need to for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Extend. Elbow and knee touch. Keeping that lower hip nice and high for 4 and 5. Hand behind the head. 1, lift that hip nice and high. 2, belly to spine, working that waistline. Good. Hold and in. Extend and crunch. Good. For 3, keep that lower hip lifted. 4 and 5. Good. Last set. Lift, lift. 3. Hold it there. Extend for 5, 4. Abs in for 2. And final 1. Hold it there. Lift that lower hip. Pulse it up. 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Soften back down to the mat. Ooh, feels good to lay down on the mat after that. Take a little break through those abs. And we're going to lift the legs up and hinge forward, coming into that pike. Now, from here, hand is on the mat for support. We're going to lift that top leg up and then send it back behind. Lift it up and over. Lift it up and over. So really switching on the muscles in the top leg as well as in the bottom leg, making each repetition count. You're doing so well with these. Keep that stability. Keep that neck relaxed. Last 5 and 4. Abs in, shoulders relaxed. 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Lower down. Now we're lifting the leg, bending at the knee, tapping that knee down, and then rotating, tapping the toe down behind the lower leg. Good. Lift and over. Tap and over without letting that hip come back with you. So you're just moving the leg. The core is tight here. It'll help with stability. Good. And you can also feel it into your waistline the more you engage the core as well, which is a really nice benefit of this exercise as well. You're working multiple areas. Let's go 5, 4. Relax those shoulders. It's a reminder to myself as well. Let's go 2. Final 1. Extend the leg. Switch on the top leg, switch on the lower leg, and start circling forwards. Basketball-sized circles. I know these are so tough. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Take a moment, prepare yourself. Bring that leg back up and circling in the opposite direction. 7, 6, keep that leg elevated. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my goodness, those burned. Okay, amazing work with those moves. We're now going to get into position to continue to work the lower body, but also to work the upper body. So we're going to come into either a high plank or a low plank. If you're in your low plank, you're down on your forearms. If you're in your high plank, you're up on your hands. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back, and hold in that high plank position. Now from here, you have some options. We're going to be lifting and lowering the right leg with a flexed foot. You can hold in plank to do so, or if that's too challenging, I want you to lower your left knee down to the mat as we lift and lower that right leg. So either variation, full plank or left knee down, creating that nice flat line with the body, flexing the feet. We're lifting that right leg for 10, 9, squeeze the glutes, 8, 7, focus on the glutes and the upper body here. Last 3, and 2, and 1. Nicely done. Lower the knees down to the mat. Now extend that right leg out long. Point the toes this time. We're going to lift 1, squeeze the bum, 2, and 3. Then we're going to lower into 3 tricep push-ups, keeping the elbows in close toward the side of the body for 2 and 3. Nice work. Hold it here. Lower, lift the leg. 1, 2, and 3. Squeeze the glutes, then lower. 1, 2, and 3. Amazing work. Now lower lift. 2 and 3. Hold it there. 1, 2. Push mat away. And 3. Nice work. I'm going to drop down onto my forearms here. Hold the leg in the air, and we're going to pulse it up for 20. Squeezing the glutes, lengthening through the toes. Good. Last 10, 9, 8. Abs in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Amazing work. Sink back into your child's pose and breathe here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Nicely done. Let's switch sides. So coming into either your high or low plank, both legs elevated or the right knee down on the mat. Wrists below the shoulders, flex those feet. Lift the left leg. 3, 4, powering up through those shoulders and those glutes. Last 1, lower the knees. Extend the left leg out long, point the toes. 1, 2, and 3. Hold it there. 3 tricep push-ups. 1, pushing up through the heels of the hands for 2. And for 3, nice work. Repeat. 1, 2, and 3. Hold it there. Lower, press up, lower, press up, lower, lift. Nicely done. 1, squeeze the bum. 2, 3, lift and hold. 1, 2, and 3. Lower down onto those forearms, lengthen through the toes, and extend the leg without overarching the spine. We're pulsing. Little controlled pulses to work those glutes. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down into your child's pose, stretching and lengthening. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now we're going to finish off with some child's pose push-ups to really make sure that we targeted the arms well. So I'd like you to come forward out of your child's pose, but keep your knees wide. We're going to take our hands about shoulder distance apart. We're going to lower into a push up, and send the hips back into child's pose. Lower, push up, and sink back. Good. Lower, push up through those hands, and sink back into your child's pose. Keep the neck long here. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Make these push-ups really powerful. Sink low and push up with energy. Core is tight. Every time you breathe out to push up. Try to pick up your pace a little bit. Get a few more reps in. For 5. You're doing so well. Last 2. Amazing work. And final 1. And push back. Lengthening through the spine. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Let's start stretching it out. So I'd like you to roll down onto your mat. Start regulating the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Cross your right leg over your left. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and hug that left knee in. Pressing the low back onto the mat, feeling that stretch in the lumbar spine. Relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your face. Hug that knee in a little bit closer to deepen the stretch in the glutes and the hips. And then gently release. Switch the crossing of your legs, left over right. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh. Hugging that knee in. Keeping the tailbone in contact with the mat if possible, so you can really feel the stretch in your low back and those glutes. Into the hips here too. Hug it in a bit closer. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your legs side by side. Roll yourself up to a seated position. Come down into an all-fours position and step your right foot forward, extending and lengthening out through your back leg. Sitting up, gently pushing that left hip forward as you move into your hip flexor stretch here. Sink into the stretch as deep as feels comfortable. Melt your shoulders down. Breathing here. You can pick up your right hand and gently stretch over to the left and back to center. Pick up your left hand and gently stretch over to the right, maintaining your balance, lengthening from the hip all the way out through the fingers. For 3, and 2, and 1 to center. Let's switch sides. Lower right knee, bring left foot forward. Take a moment here to really ease into the stretch, feeling it in that right hip as you gently press it forward. Nicely done. Pick up your left hand and gently fold over to the right and back to center. Pick up your right hand and gently fold over to the left. Feeling that lengthening through the side body. That deepening of the stretch in the hip flexor. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Bring yourself into a cross-leg position. Lower your right hand, stretching up and over with your left. Lower your left hand, stretching up and over with your right. Let's take 2 more. And last one. Amazing work. I'd like you to interlace your fingers, take them above your head, pressing up. You can gently rock from side to side if that feels good. Or just keep pressing your palms up toward the ceiling. For 2 and 1, back to center. Lower your arms, lift your shoulders, and roll them down and back. For 3, melting away tension. For 2, opening through the chest. And final 1, melt those shoulders down and back. Amazing work. Thank you so much for joining me. That was a great full body workout. You should be proud of yourself. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for supporting my channel. See you soon. Bye.